Hey guys, welcome to Nax Finest TV, the biggest channel in Nakuru. We do both local and international interviews. I go by the name Rolex Platform. Today I've decided to bring you one of the biggest guests in Kenya. Let them introduce themselves. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Barry Mixer. I'm the insurance specialist. I have been in the industry for the last 8 years. It's good to be here so that we have this engagement and learn from each other.
My name is Dorothy Cho. I, of course, coming from GA Insurance, and I have been in the industry for quite a while, about 8 years also. And yes, we are here and we're glad that you invited us here. And let's learn more about what insurance is.
Okay, we can start with Bore. Bore can tell us more about something like insurance, bank assurance.
Well, maybe before I touch on bank assurance, and because we are here again to speak to the people of Kenya and also to speak to the people across the region, allow me to give you some small statistics on what is happening in the world. In the period that ended, we lost approximately 1.1 million people to 1.2 million people in the world due to road accidents. If I narrow down to Kenya, in the year ended 2022 alone, we lost approximately 7,500 people due to road accidents. In Kenya alone, if you look at the statistics and what is going on in the market, we are informed that approximately 26,000 crashes are reported in Kenya alone every year. This is a concern to us because we have the motor vehicles. In many occasions, we are found as passengers inside those vehicles. So it is a concern to us. And before we even talk about the insurance itself, we also want to look at what are the causes of these accidents that we see. Number one, I have grouped this one into the recklessness of the drivers. If you walk to Nakuru streets here, you will be surprised what the drivers are doing. If you also look at the road network of Kenya, it is not done perfectly. So it is a concern to us. And now to the question that you are asking about the bank assurance. The bank has come to also partner with insurance institutions in doing the insurance, because the bank is coming in between the customer and the underwriter to handle the customer. It matters insurance, so that if the customer has a claim, for example, the person who will be in charge and handling that claim will be through the bank. It will be done through the bank. And also the bank has a big portfolio, so the bank wants to manage the portfolio, and at the end of that, will also earn an income out of that business. So that is the whole matrix about the bank assurance.
Okay, coming to Dorothy. Dorothy, you can tell us more about, you categorize both the third party and comprehensive insurance.
Well, thank you so much. What I can say about comprehensive insurance, which of course means comprehensive motor insurance, is an insurance that covers the car itself in case it gets an own damage. That is, if it crashes on someone or a property, or even if it's on itself in the insured, maybe you're trying to get over the gate and then the gate smashes your bumper or something. Comprehensive will always cater for the damage of the car. That is only for comprehensive insurance. But when we speak about third party will not cover for the comprehensive cover, because third party will only cover for a third party. A third party in this case means a person, a goods. Maybe you hit another car. That is what will cover a third party. That way is very important, and I'm so sure all of you guys, your parents probably are driving, or your cousins, or people around you, probably are driving cars, and it is important to let them know that it is important to have comprehensive cover. Because one day I can just speak from experience I had, that a client who came to now, at that time I was working at AP Insurance, and he had a car that was about 5 million. And because that car was new and then it was devalued. No, every year you have to value your car. So after he devalued, I think he saw it was fit for him not to take comprehensive, but he devalued his car and thought, let me take what? Third party cover. And the car was about 2 million to something. And after he took that car to third party, the car was written off. Written off, it means that the car cannot be fixed by any insurance, meaning that car inaenda tu hivyo. So it is very important to tell your parents, your relatives, people you know, that it is important to get comprehensive cover for the cars. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay, asking a question. What happened? Have you ever found yourself when mwenyewe you have been something like J insurance, you know? And then 12 months ishaisha, you have not insured your car. Have you ever got yourself in that scenario? Polisi amekusimamisha yuko barabara lakini hujalipa insurance na wewe mwenyewe unafanya na insurance.
Well, there was a time I was traveling to Kericho and my car was not insured, but because I had missed the dates and at that time, of course, I told the police that, you know, I work at an insurance company. Please allow me to just tell them, let me contact someone, show me the insurance. But of course, we talked and he agreed, but then it is not good. It is never good to walk in even if you're driving to any place, have an insurance. Even if you're not able to get a comprehensive cover, get a third party. Yes.
Okay. Sijui kama umeelewa watu wangu?
Yes.
I have a question.
You can ask.
To Mr. Bode, I have 3 questions to you. And the first question, I need a yes or no answer. Do you insure your vehicles?
Yes.
Thank you. When must I insure my car?
One, maybe I can give you about 3 reasons why you should have that insurance. Number one, it is a mandatory requirement by Kenyan law that you must have at least a third-party policy in your car.
Thank you.
Number two, suppose you also get an accident and you don't have insurance, you lose your vehicle. That is number one. Leave alone the injuries that you might cause to other people and the damages to other people's property. I can say you must have that insurance. It is a must.
The third question is, for example, if I have a matatu, PSP matatu, I have insured it with GA insurance, and the matatu doesn't cause or get involved in any accident for a year. There is no payment or there is no any final conclusion on that. Or the main question I'm asking here is insurance a money-making tool? Is it a business or is it a helping strategy?
It's
a good question.
But then maybe I can answer it this way because that was purposely directed to me. That when you talk about matatu itself, we have several underwriters that do not underwrite matatu. So there we will narrow down to specific companies that deal with matatus. And we insure matatus in several ways. In most cases, they do third party for matatu. And then we have what we call PLL. In that case, PLL means passenger legal liability. This is to cover the passengers. Now you've insured and there is no accident by end of the year. Then it becomes the profits of the insurance. Because
so general insurance is profit.
It is a business. Yes. It is a business. And maybe just
asking a question. For those 12 months when they are finished and maybe that accident has not come across, what will happen? That money, does it benefit you as a company or the individual?
Two things will happen. Because insurance is about pooling the resources. I bring mine, you bring yours, Dorothy does hers to the same pool, so that if I have an accident and you don't have, the money that we have in the basket will be used to pay mine. Because in many cases you find that a comprehensive could be 100,000, 200, 300, But in one vehicle, if it has an accident, it will cost 700 to 1 million, the cost of repairs. So we will remove out of that pool and repair for Dorothy. Whatever that remains will now become the profits of the underwriter. Of course, taxes will also be there.
With an example, can you tell me how many cars have insured with your insurance and how many accidents you paid for the last year?
A good question.
Dorothy, Madam Dorothy.
Yes. So for the past, I can speak about the
Last year.
1 year.
Yeah.
Last year we paid a write-off of a lorry of 3.9 million. And after we paid that, we of course did a lot of claims here and there, about 50,000, 100,000. But at the end of the day, all those claims we were all paying. None of them we didn't pay. But you know, premiums, you have to pay the premiums for all this insurance. Not even GA only. All companies of insurance company have to pay premiums, and premiums are paid yearly. So even if you don't get an accident, your premium imeenda tu hivyo.
How much profit did the company make? Please, people need to know. How much profit did the company make?
Let me say we did the profit we did was about 17
Million.
But according to
This is what I can say.
Yeah.
We may not be very specific
Yes.
when it comes to the profitability because we are the marketers in the field. Once we bring in, we have a claim here, we have a claim at another branch, like that. Maybe I can say the profit is there and the insurance companies are earning. Maybe we can say that way. So there is an income. And of course, you know, the salaries are paid and so forth out of the same premium. So there is also a cost element, but I can assure you that with good underwriting and a bigger market, you can make something out of it. Allow me.
Thank you.
That.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
have a question? Yes. I have a question to Mr. Boda. Does insurance cover the car or the driver?
Thank you for that good question. If I was to explain further to what Dorothy said about comprehensive, she said that we have comprehensive and we have third party, of which many people say that is TPO. Now, under the comprehensive, it doesn't cover you as the owner of the vehicle or the driver or family members. It doesn't cover you. Maybe we can give you an extension called a personal accident cover. That will be able now to cover you, to cover your driver and the members of your family. Maybe again something on TPO, because when we talk about third-party insurance, we've not mentioned on the element on how its claim will be done. Remember, the other one was direct. You have an accident, we will review your claim. We see whether the claim was genuine. We see whether the claim is above excess. For third-party cases, they are only paid through the court of law. They have to go to court, then they are awarded and they pay through the court of law. So comprehensive will not cover you as the owner, will not cover you as the family member, and also the driver employed by you. Maybe I can summarize it that way, but the scope is wide.
Okay, there is this question. I had a story of someone who had alikuwa anategemea one car to get his profit and saidia familia yake, understand? So there is this man, gari yake ilienda ikafanya kitu written off. After written off, and he had covered that car in terms of comprehensive insurance. Then alikuwa anahitaji gari ifanywe, alipiwe gari nyingine mpya. It took time. Unajua gari nilikuwa nategemea for him to sustain familia yake. Hebu tueleze your story about that one.
I can, okay. For a car that is write off, it means that car is not, I mean, the company cannot say what, they cannot be able to repair that car. So automatically when the car is write off, first, the person or the owner of that car needs to know who is the underwriter. Because all these things runs back to the underwriter, the insurance company. So that will all depend with who is the underwriter. But I can only confirm, or I can only say, for example, from GM, we had a car, I just said we had a car that we paid direct off. which did not take, I think we paid it in around 30 days.
30 days, that's a month.
Yeah, that's around a month. And you know, a write-off has to, you know, there are more processes in a write-off. It's not like the normal repair authority, you know, you get to the garage and it's fixed like that. Because this is a write-off, there's a lot of claim. After we've done our investigation, you know, and this car was badly damaged, it is not repairable. What do we do? We say it's a write-off. And then there are processes that the company has to sign this, there are checks and all, and eventually we paid. So I do not want to say why he wasn't, he took a long time.
A long time, yeah.
Yes, probably it's underwriter, or probably he wasn't giving the investigator his time to do his job. But yes, I think that is the best way.
Maybe students sijui kama mnaelewa, mnajua written off inamaanisha nini? Mnajua? Inamaanisha nini? Mnajua mnasikiza, mnajua inamaanisha nini? Gari kikienda tunaita written off inamaanisha nini?
Inamaanisha that gari haiwezi tumika, haiwezi repairiwa, haiwezi fanya kitu yoyote.
Imefanya accident.
Imefanyika, imeisha. So the only option, insurance ifanye nini? Ikurudishie pesa if it was only comprehensive.
You see, unaweza kuwa parent wako anatumia gari kama Uber, alafu afanya accident, alikuwa amelipia comprehensive. Comprehensive kumaanisha akifanya accident, insurance inapaswa kumlipa hiyo gari, kama imeharibiwa kabisa mlipe yote mpya. Unaona? So imagine kwa tembea hiyo gari kuimpe income. Na inalipisha familia wako wanatumia kukula. And then imeharibika. Lakini insurance ina take time, long time kumrudishia gari. Unaona hata atumia sana.
So, as matter of fact, insurance does not give you the car. Ati inakupea gari, ati yenye ulikuwa nayo inarudisha hiyo. It pays you in terms of money. So if that car valuation was 1.2, you're going to receive 1.2.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I can add to what my colleague has said. And just to mention that there are three things to be considered when an accident happens. Number one, there is a consideration of the choice of the underwriter. So you have to be very keen in the market because we have underwriters that are well known for delaying claims. So you ought to be very careful when you are making the choice. Number two, like she mentioned, the issue of valuation. Suppose you have not done the valuation of that vehicle. Insurance can say, we want to do what we call pre-accident value or valuation. When they do the pre-accident assessment, they can say, oh, before the accident, your vehicle was 800,000. Yes, you know it was 1.2, but you have no justification that it was 1.2. So I want to emphasize on the essence of valuation, that as you take your vehicle for comprehensive, make sure that the valuation is done, because that is what you get. Suppose it is a write-off.
Okay, coming back to something called life insurance. We have two categories of life insurance that I know, NSSF and NHIF. And they are very essential to the society and as an individual. You can try to narrate that.
So maybe
Let's start with the NSSF.
maybe Dorothy Bore.
Anyone can start.
Okay, I can speak on NSSF. NSSF is a mandatory benefit that an employer, of course you guys are not employed now, but eventually when you get employed, your employer has to remit the finances to NSSF, and then you also need to remit. Of course, that is deducted on your pay as soon as your pay comes into your bank, but it is normally I can speak on, of course, NSSF has two categories. There's NSSF Tier 1 and NSSF Tier 2. Tier 1 is people who are earning 18,000 and below. Tier 2, people are earning 18,000 and above. So Tier 1, you're deducted 360,000 from your salary and your employer matches the same, and it is taken to NSSF. Tier 2, your employer anakata 720,000 from your pay and matches the same. Hata anatoa 720, inaenda wapi? NSSF. It is very important that as soon as you know you're going to employ, ensure that every time, even if you, I know as much as tunataka mnadhani wanatoanga hizi pesa, it's very good working to NSSF. If you all know where NSSF is, iko Kolo Center pale Hata kama unajua na remit, enda to confirm, is it remitted really? You know, because this NSSF, you know, it's a fund given to, I mean, it's the fund that is supposed to get it after you've retired. So, unajua unaweza kuwa unadhani hiyo pesa imepangwa huko na unapata hawaishi. So, you know, it's better you go and check, kipata inaekwa sawa. Kipata yepi, unapigia NSSF unawambia mbona napatangi pesa na mimi nakatangwa kwa salary yangu. You know, so it is good you ensure that you see that, and if it is not remitted, ask NSSF why, or your employer why, and then if it's remitted, well and good. And then as soon as that is remitted, ensure that you are being cut, and the same is also remitted by your employer. So if you're being cut 320 shillings, the employer is also matching the same, meaning yes. So that is generally what NSSF means. So anytime you get employed, even if it is, as long as you know you're being cut, you're NSSF, ensure you go to NSSF, check that it's being remitted. If it is not, ask your employer or your HR or someone who's below. Or if they say to nini, you now ask NSSF, mbona mchukwani pesa na mimi nakutangwa kwa mshahara yangu. Yes, it's supposed to receive, yes. After you retire, you're supposed to receive that money in cash, in full, both yours and your employer. So you see how I am saying, ensure that it's being remitted by who? You and employer. Though at the time of pesa, if you don't commission for 60, you now get your money.
Okay.
Pass from the future hata kama amepass, what happens is you can go to NSSF and ask for your parents or someone you know when you amepass. They'll give you a statement, but then you know they cannot remit money to you. Lazima kama ni mtu amepass, there has to be someone mwenye amepata like an administrator position or someone.
Hatuna tunaita next of kin. Next of kin.
But next of kin, but unaweza pata next of kin, maybe it is your dad alikuanga na mtu wako akamwandika next of kin. So unaona huyo mtu labda haiko kwa familia yenu sasa hiyo. You know, because people you don't know, but you know lazima kwanza confirm who's the next of kin. If it is your mom, well and good, and better. But if it is not, the normal procedure is you first get an administrator of that estate of your dad or your estate. And estate inamaanisha estate kubwa, ati ya kuna shamba mingi hapana. It is something called an administrator. Lazima ukue kuna mtu anashughulikia mambo ya baba yako ama mama yako mwenye yuko sahihi, which can be children, which can be anyone mwenye mnezi. You know, kwa hiyo story yote you have to sit down as a family and decide ya appointed one administrator ama nani ama dada yangu ama you know someone. And then once you appoint, now all those process you can now do, of course the legal way now. Lazima ile kwa lawyer and credit. So there are so many other processes in local.
Okay, part in short our interview. More you can try to cheza na time to show it for karibu kuisha and talk about NHF. Tukicheza tukimaliza this show part in short.
Thank you. Just before I do the NHIF, allow me to mention something about NSSF. Just in addition to what my colleague has talked about. Under the contributions that we bring to NSSF, there is a reduction of 1050 by employee as per the Kenyan law. So as we remit that one, there is also a portion that is contracted out. This is under Tier 2. Tier 1 is fully delivered to NSSF as a mandatory requirement. But under Tier 2, there is something that we can contract out, and this is where the insurance has an interest also, under Tier 2, where we can take the savings of an employer, the Tier 2, and then at the end of the year, we pay back with an interest. And I've done it with several organizations and the different employers, and they're earning good money out of this. At times they send off their employees when they are going for holiday, when they are going for December holidays, we give them something out of that And not talk much about NHIS. Because NHIS, we all know that it is a mandatory requirement. For the employees, there are those who are retired for 1,000, there are those who are doing 1,700, and there are those who are providing for themselves with 500 shillings. And insurance also has an interest out of that. You can have an NHIS and still have an inpatient with an underwriter. That is where we also have an interest. It's a conversation we can have. So that's it. Maybe I can stop at that.
I have a question. You have a question?
If you view insurance company as a, let me say, example, what actions do you take to, and with years, economy changes, and what actions do you take as insurance company to ensure that the money you collect or the money that is paid to you as a company is going on the same direction as the economy?
Number one, when we are doing the NSSF, for example, that we talked about, there is something called a statement. That you can visit NSSF and be given your statement to see whether your deductions are at par with the savings that you have, and whether the interest is being loaded at the end of the year. So that's why you can check. You can as well, even from the underwriter side, if they are saving for education, you can always ask them to give you a statement, and you see what you've done. To caution you against the inflation, we have something called escalation rate. You can book your policy and have an escalation rate so that as you move along, what you are saving also increases as time goes by. Just to caution you against the inflation.
Okay, the last question is from one student here. After finishing your school, you'll be going something called attachment or internship. Single mwambie kitu kama hiyo. Hebu ulizeni hiyo question. So you are supposed to have a cover for your insurance. Someone can ask that question.
Okay, what is the importance of having insurance cover?
Thank you.
For example, when they're trying to ask, after finishing their school, they do something called internship or attachment. Kuna kitu wanatishago cover this. There is someone that they have a insurance cover.
Yes, yeah, I will get you. Thank you for that good question. Number one, we have categorized this one into two. We will have what we call the student personal accident, which will cover you while you are still a student, not only when you are going for attachment. Even now, you can have it, the student personal accident. And this is to caution you against death, permanent and total disability, critical illness, medical appliances. Are you saying that? So it will cover you along that line. Suppose you get an accident and you are injured and you need a medical support, you need an equipment to be covered in there. Suppose you are working on attachment. For attachment, we call it student personal accidents. For interns, of course, now you are done with school and you are now going to internship in preparation for your employment. We give you what we call personal accident cover. This one will cover the same risk that I mentioned earlier, but the benefits are more huge compared to the other. So that is it about personal accident. Okay.
And I mean, personal accident, it is very important. As we go for attachment, mkuje huko kwetu je, and you know that I'm so sure that tunashanga pesa ni ngapi. It's only 1,000.
Na mbona kuna type mingi za insurance.
It's only 1,000. So yeah, mkuje, we give you all those insurances, all of you, and tell all your friends there when you need attachment for kuje. Of course, there are many companies that offer the same thing that student personal, but I see so many coming to us. I believe our maybe to know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. One was
Well, I think because of the pricing, our price is quite because if you compare to like Like I know it is APA charges 1,500. Yes, it's an annual policy. So that 1,000 will cover you for the whole year. So you can take now, hata kama uenda attachment say November, you know, you're still covered because it's going to go from May to May next year.
Okay.
So it is only 1,000, and you can, when you come to GA, our office, will assist you. Me and Bore. If you don't find me, you find Bore. We are there. We are ready to assist.
Okay. Because of time, we cut the interview here from here because next time we have an extended interview.
Okay.
Yeah. To play with time, I want to give you examples note of the teacher for an interview. Clap for them for the Nini no? Location, they can give you the location. Tukipata ni short, tupe kwenye jina, you relate number of them and then you say where you are from, then they can try to come.
What of that? Do you mind if you can give us the office number?
Irgo, Udenda. Udenda. Oh.
Okay, I can speak. Okay. Our location is Polo Center, ground floor. You know Polo Center is? Amji Polo Center? The building
Polo Center. The former governor of Nakuru.
The former governor of Nakuru. You know his building? Yes. Polo Center. Yes, that's where we are from. Yes.
You can say something for the church?
Well, maybe I can say that insurance is very wide. And what we've covered is just a small percentage of what we've covered. I want to believe that next time again you will give us another platform so that we can look at the real issues. We look at the livestock because so many people are losing their livestock at home. And there is an insurance that can salvage that. We have not looked at the fire policy. So many people are losing their homes and businesses. It is an area I feel that we need to talk to our people so that they know with a small figure, with a small amount, cheaper than the cost of their phones, they can salvage the items that they have in their homes. So I can say I want you to give us another platform.
Next time we'll have an extended interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I really appreciate Mazi. Thanks for coming for our interview. Okay? Clap for them once again. Thanks guys, Mazi. Subscribe to the biggest channel in Nakuru. I really appreciate for coming. Thank you.